Y'all ever play a game where the visuals are stunning? Cool, but have you played Rayman? Rayman, my favorite mutant, was once the poster child of Ubisoft, until it was overtaken by like 50 games. Rayman follows a thing with no legs or arms, traversing these weird and obscure landscapes to defeat a villain, mostly Mr. Dark. And although I could talk about the whole history of the games, I just want to talk about something unique to the series: the style. Rayman Origins was the first 2D Rayman game since the first Rayman, which came out in 1985. So it was about 16 years since Rayman had a full-fledged main 2D game. That's a lot of words. And it seems that Ubisoft didn't know what to do with it. First it was episodic, then a prequel, but eventually they decided to just make the game go back to the origins, hence the name.
On a envie de retourner aux sources, on a envie de retrouver tous les plaisirs qu'on avait sur le premier Rayman par exemple, les plaisirs d'un platformer, mais avec toute cette beauté et toute cette richesse graphique.
But we're not here to ridicule Ubisoft, that would be another video. Right now, I want to get to the critically acclaimed Rayman Origins. So, Rayman runs on this engine called UbiArts. It's a pretty cool engine where the main focus is the art, then the actual game. The main selling point was that all the artist has to do is draw a concept, transfer a piece that they like into the game, and now it's in the game. The game was made with art in mind. They drew these environments on one plane, then added it on top of others, and gave it this depth of field. The game didn't feel like a 2D game, it felt so expansive and nice. The games have a tendency to follow these wacky worlds following a theme. Here in the game, there's a jungle, desert, ice/kitchen world, ocean, and steampunk world. All these worlds all stand out. Personally, my favorite has to be the jungle or the ocean, with my least favorite being the desert. Now, it's not bad, not at all, but I just don't like desert levels. With that, it still looks incredible. They all do. Alright, enough about that. Let's get into the characters and animations. The characters are all goofy, in a good way. They all stand out and feel like their own. Each world has unique characters. The jungle has hunters, desert has birds, ice fire has dragons, and surprisingly, the ocean has fish. The last world had robots and shit. They each give a feeling of variety. And while sure they can get old after seeing them for so long, they still hold that sense of weirdness to them that no matter how long you see them, they still feel weird. Each character has a personality that you can distinguish in the way that you look at them. Rayman looks spotty and optimistic. Oh, what the fuck? Rayman looks sporty and optimistic. Globox looks lazy and tired. The furries look hot and the enemies look like they belong in their worlds. They all have these animations that also portrays them. Rayman and Globox grab ledges differently. The teen seats and Globox slide differently. And also the way you can sort of combine these animations are so smooth and fluid. The world itself was a real piece of art. And to also have it become habitable by these nice and unique looking creatures and characters only helped it stand out. So this game is an eye candy. It's so nice to look at, but again, it's a game. And so how does it hold up in that regard? Like I said, the engine had art as priority. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad, not at all. This is a great game. The controls are so good and melts. It's smooth, fluid, and fun. Doing little tricks or just adding flair makes it even better. But it's basic. Now, a game with basic controls isn't bad. I mean, look at Beginner's Guide. Great game, basic gameplay. But with Rayman, it markets itself as a game. And it delivers. The real problem is that it has no substance. Wow, that's a title. The game is extremely repetitive. There are only 10 worlds, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's 5 basic worlds and 5 more of the same worlds, only now with a boss in the end. And that was the biggest complaint with the games, it's repetitive. At first, with all these beautiful scenery, diverse characters, and fairies, it really makes you fall in love with the game. But the second time around, it sort of loses that magic. No longer are you playing this game to gawk at the visuals. You've seen all the enemies, worlds, and characters. Now it's just doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe there's a twist here and there, but it's still the same structure, same way, different level. And I think that part of it has to do with a lack of story. There's no story in this game. The main premise is that there's creatures attacking the Glado Dreams. That's it. So there's no ultimate goal except to defeat the villain that you barely made in the game. So what's the whole point of this video? Why did I spend my time writing this and editing this and recording this instead of doing like something productive? Well, it's because I'm lazy, but also as an excuse to talk about stylistic games. When in a time where we talk about how realistic a game can be, we forget to admire the artistic ones. We forget to play games for the visuals, instead we play the ones that make the horse balls shrink. And that's fine, 100%, but we shouldn't forget about these games. Don't let Ubisoft become a waste since it had like 3 AAA games and that's it. The rest were licensed or mobile games. Just play Rayman, it's a fun game.